Okay, well, obviously we are not cutting wheat today. Haven't cut any wheat yet. And one might say, well, it's nice and sunny outside, why aren't you cutting wheat? Well, Wednesday afternoon we had a shower come through real quick, like 15-20 minutes tops come through. And depending on where you were at, where my wheat is, got a ½ inch. At my house, which is probably, if you drew a straight line up to the road I'm on, a quarter mile north, I got a quarter. My buddy Matt had a wheat field rough, maybe 1/8 of a mile south. He was still baling straw right through it. Never got, he said he got a couple sprinkles, but that was it. And then a mile south, where Matt's dad's place is, got 1 inch. So it was all over the board as to where you were at and what you got. But needless to say, that storm front came through, dumped that rain, the temperature dropped. Now it's been in the getting down into the mid 60s at night and hasn't been getting above the low 70s during the day, which has been nice as far as being a human being out in the weather, but has not been good drying weather. And then up until 4 o'clock this afternoon, it has been overcast. And Dad said, well, we got a sprinkle at work today, and Dad said here this morning until about noon it had like a misty, not quite rain. Teeter, come here. It was like a misty, not quite raining, just kind of morning. So didn't get any drying done this morning, even though it was supposed to be partly to mostly sunny all day. That didn't happen. So needless to say, the wheat has not dried really at all. I mean, it has dried down some. If it had done this at 7 o'clock this morning and the sun came out and we got this breeze we got right now, it would be an entirely different ball game. We'd probably be cutting right now and it'd probably be fine. But I went over and checked it after work, and you bite into it and it's still, it's not doughy, but it's not hard. Like you can bite it and you can't like smash it, but your teeth sink into it. I like the guys that know wheat or know checking moisture by biting into crop know what I'm talking about. It's not there. So obviously not cutting. Tomorrow we got a 40% chance of rain. Sunday we got an 80% chance of rain, and then the rest of the week through Saturday it's 20, 30, 40% chances. It's kind of a crapshoot. So hopefully, as much as I don't, when I went and checked it today, the high spots would shell out or would thrash out okay in my hand. The low spots, I had to work at it to get the kernels out of to thrash out, and the down like, I don't know, 2-3 rows up from where the head attaches to the stem, I couldn't get it to thrash out at all. So I had a guy offer, well, the guy's gonna bale half the, or however much straw I don't get when I get my 500 bales off. He offered to let me put it in his aeration bin, and he was gonna throw a fan on it for me if I had to cut it a little wet. Well, cutting it wet, the guys I know that are running today, it's been running between 16 and 16.5, which is really wet. Elevator, they released a thing today, they're not taking it above 14.5, so you'd have to get at least 2 points out of it before you could even haul it in. And then 40 acres, even if I started cutting today and could cut for a little bit of tomorrow, because they're saying we got a pretty good chance of showers tomorrow afternoon, even though it's only 40% chance overall, I'd probably maybe get 15 acres done over there, maybe. So you'd still have a bunch that be left standing. So I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm not worried about getting second crop beans in. I just need to get manure spread on that field and then get it plowed. That's all we got to worry about. So time isn't of an essence as long as it stays standing, it doesn't start sprouting, which So far, there's no signs of it sprouting. So, and like I say, Teeter, hey, come on. She keeps trying to wander. So yeah, needless to say, as much as I wanted to try cutting wheat today, I knew it was a bad idea. There are a couple guys that are doing it, but they got rotary combines and they can turn the rotor up and tighten the concave down, and they got the horsepower and the capacity to try to do it. I do not have the horsepower nor the capacity to try to do shit like that. Well, I got the horsepower. That thing, that 354 Perkins will squall the thrasher belt right off that thing. I don't have the capacity. So as much as I want to try cutting wheat right now, I'm just gonna let it sit, wait till next week when the weather's supposed to be better, or hopefully the forecast changes here midweek, because it's all this shit is getting pushed up by that hurricane that's in Florida right now. So as soon as that thing moves out, we'll be back to normal. So now that the weed explanation is out of the way, I said I'd do a crop update. So here it is. Things have changed quite a bit since the last time I was down here. This spot is always bare, like thin, no matter what I do. It's just it's this blue nasty clay that works up like little Lego blocks. And if you get a decent rain right on it right after you plant, no matter what happens, this is what it does. But the rest of the beans are filling in really nice. Teeter, hey, Teeter, get down here. Come here. So beans have, and in all honesty, when I was down here last time I showed this field, there was nothing here. And I don't know what kind of magical pixie beans that Wyckoff is selling, what kind of fairy dust they spread on them when they put them in the bag, but I got this sprayed, all the weeds died, and all of a sudden the beans filled in and started to catch and like caught right up. And all my fields that had bare spots did that. All the bare spots have at least some beans in them, which is better than no beans. So like I say, I don't know what goofy crap Wyckoff's got going on, but their beans will hang on there and they'll come out when you least expect them to. And the spots that do have decent population have canopied. So that's good. All that ragweed is dead, which is good. I'm surprised it didn't kill the volunteer corn. But and I had some corn. This field, when I shelled it last year, the corn was really damn tall, and I had issues. It was thrashing real nice, but it was dry enough that when the head was pulling the stalks in, it was shaking the ears off. So I got some volunteer corn from that, and then the end rows where I was opening the field up, I usually knock down some corn where your main rows butt into the end rows, and that's what all this crap is on the end, is from that. So but anyway, so beans are looking a lot better than what they were. I'm a lot more confident in what we got going on there. It's still not going to be great, but, and even that, the last two fields I sprayed that I had video of, where the one was almost canopied over, that moldboarded ground next to the chisel plow ground, and the chisel plow ground didn't have anything in it. Now the chisel plow ground has stuff in it. Can't explain it. I figured that stuff was dead and not coming up. But it's filling in. It's thin, but it's filling in. And there was beans here until we had all that rain come through, and then they were short enough that it kind of washed a little bit and the mud covered them up, and now there's no beans here, but it'll be fine. It's just the year we're having. Now corn, on the other hand. Peter, you coming? You know, the old rule of thumb is knee high by the 4th of July. Well, we took that rule and we kicked it in the ass. It is over my head and throwing tassels. And it's today's the 8th. And putting ears on. It's got, looks like 2 more leaves to unfurl and we'll have tassels. That's got ears on. The stand is good. It's nice and dark green. Here's where I turned around with the spreader. And this stuff is 7, 8 feet tall now, and it's still got a ways to go yet. This is gonna be some nice corn. Which makes me feel good because the last 2 years my beans have done all right, but my corn has been shit. This year I think my beans are gonna, I don't know. I can't say on the beans because beans are weird. You can have a really thin stand of beans, and if you get the right weather conditions, they will produce just like full normal population would. But there's also times when you have a thin stand of beans and they don't produce shit. It just, beans are beans. They're like women. They do what they want. Teeter, where you at? Oh, Teeter, you went the wrong way. This is the first time she's ever been through a cornfield. She's probably going nuts. But yeah. Corn, on the other hand, I'm really happy with. I do not have a bad looking field of corn. I've been past them all. Corn is kicking ass right now. Muck's looking good. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the muck sprayed a second time because we had that 8 inches of rain come through 3 weeks ago, whenever the heck it was, where I wanted to get the manganese put on and get the second round of herbicide put on for the respray. And by the time it dried out, the corn is like, well, the corn is this tall down there, and even you could get over it with like a Rogator or a Haggy, but you're going to be pushing it. And I definitely was not getting over it with my sprayer. So just this afternoon, I got my sprayer. I got all the water out of the booms and winterized it and power washed it. So my sprayer's going to bed. And unfortunately, we'll probably not be getting the manganese on there, and we will not be getting the second round of herbicide on it, unfortunately. But luckily, it's really just the spots that got frost damage, that are frost bit, that have a weed problem. So it's not that big of an issue. Everything else can't eat over, and it's got them choked down pretty good. We're definitely leaps and bounds ahead of the weed control I had down there last year. Plus, we're leaps and bounds ahead of the population I had down there last year. So I wish I could have got the manganese on, because on muck ground, that'll bump you like 6 bushel an acre. Just putting that on, but 'tis what it is. Teeter. Oh, she went that way. Teeter. Teeter pup. Oh, she kind of knows where I'm at. I can hear her. Teeter. Teeter. That was okay. I don't care who you are. That was funny right there. Did you find me? Did you find me? You like playing in the corn? So give it another couple weeks, let them ears develop. We'll be able to start pulling some ears and getting some yield estimates. But so yeah, that's basically the crop update I can get for you right now. Basically, beans are looking kind of meh, and corn is looking, I'm very satisfied with the corn. Like, this is some nice looking, for July 8th, this is some excellent corn. And like I say, every field I got, even they all look like this. They're just, the 08700 is going to get broke in real good. It ain't gonna be no 220 bushel Iowa corn, but oh fuck, in Iowa 220 bushel, that's probably kind of low. But I bet there's a lot of 175, 180 bushel corn, if not some 200 bushel corn this year. Which if I can get like even 170 bushel average this year, I will be halfway to the moon. That'd be great. But anyway, I just kind of want to do a crop update, to have a video to put up today, since I'm not going to be cutting wheat for a while. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I might drag the baler over here, if it's not raining in the morning, and go through it, make sure it's good to rock and roll. I need to run over and change the tires on the rake, which you'll see why when that time comes. I'm probably going to just throw the ones off my disc on it for now. But you'll see all that when, like I say, you'll see all that when the time comes. Sunday, I might go get some linseed oil and start working on the wood for the manure spreader so we can keep working on that project. And that project might take up most of the week since I can't really do anything else if it's raining. But like I say, hopefully most of that rain misses us. The wheat dries down decent. And I do not like letting it stand this long, but it kind of is what it is. I really... Truth be told, I probably should have been trying to cut it last weekend, but I also heard a lot of guys that were running balls to the walls last weekend and it was still above 13, 14, 15%, which they start docking you at 12 and a half, I think is where their scales start, or maybe it's 13. It's 12 and a half or 13 is where they start docking. And like I say, they stopped taking it at 14 and a half, so you got to bend it and put a fan on it. But it is what it is. We're fighting Mother Nature. Like I say, since I'm not worried about trying to drill in second crop beans behind them, it's as long as it stays standing, as long as it doesn't start sprouting. I mean, the grain quality might suffer a little bit, but as long as I can get it by next week, I think we'll be safe. I'm not that much up on wheat. I mean, it was nervous. It makes me nervous letting it stand that long because I don't know. Like corn, you can let corn stand all winter if you want, and it'll be fine. Beans can stand for a long time. Wheat, I'm still not confident enough in that, and it just makes me nervous, but it is what it is. If it's raining, you can't cut it. So if it's too tough and you won't thresh out of the heads, you can't cut it. So anyway, this video's gotten, well, we're not at 20 minutes yet, so we're really doing pretty decent. So for a boring walking around looking at corn and beans video. So anyway, I guess that does it for this one, and we'll catch you all in the next one, whatever that may be.